Hey, yeah, and welcome to week 2. I'm just going to quickly go through progress this week. More foundational, more multiplayer, more game playability system setup, but it's definitely heading in the right direction. The other exciting part is there's now a name for the game, and I'm firming up all of the story elements. But that will probably unravel more in the devlogs as the game is developed, because I don't really want to spoil too much if we can get there. So first things first, as I say, if I just close down the editor, I've started to basically come up with a name, which is Starborn. Come up with some sort of rough and ready branding for the splash screen. I always think it helps that there's a vision in the back of my mind, and putting it on paper, at least just the start of the logo and something like this will actually just help keep me focused and not sort of get fatigued by looking at the Unreal logo every day. So with that, when you go into the game now and you load it up, it basically shows the splash screen with the custom logo, which is great. The sort of reason for the name will become apparent later on in later videos, but Starborn is the name of the game. And the sort of next part that I kind of moved on to this week was to try and get through multiplayer setup, and by that I mean like getting Epic Online services with lobbies working. I started coding that myself, but to be honest with you, the Redpoint plugin seems to handle all of that stuff, as well as proximity chat when I get to that. So I think those two major things that I want to use, I basically have moved to use that plugin, which I think makes sense. So with that, I have this very basic lobby where you can hit play. And for now, let me just double check. Let me just stop that and go into one player and play a standalone for now. So it's a very basic lobby. It doesn't look much, but ultimately you can join the lobby and you are now part of an Epic Online Services lobby, which is great. That's the first bit done. The next bit is to start creating the game mode, which obviously runs on the server. We're talking about multiplayer game here. And with that said, I now have this new raid game mode because the mechanic is a raid. So you basically jump into a location. There's a set time limit. You got to get in there, get your loot, um, maybe solve some puzzles, uh, and then get back out again, all within a time limit. So a server really needs those phases when you join, and that's what the raid game mode is all about. So if I go into here, let me just create it as play as a client and number of players 1 for now. We can, let's just do 2, hit play, and hopefully, famous last words when we demo stuff. You can see now that this raid is very short, but there's 2 players here. And if I just try and get in front of this one, you can see that there's multiplayer replication happening, but also we've got a timer at the top, which is all driven by the server and synced to the client. And then in the top right, we've got a little debug message that has raid in progress. So I've created these states, initialize, raid is in progress, and then finalize, which will then talk to our backend services that basically stores all your stats, and then basically finalize, which basically then would tell something like game lift or a goers that the server is complete. Spin it down, all the players have gone, and we're in a clean state, ready for the next one to be sort of span up and started. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. The other thing, I'm controlling the player on the left. You can see, let me just go to this one. So you can see now if I control this player, there's some attributes on the bottom left of the screen, and although I know there's debug tools within Unreal for the gameplay ability system, what I wanted to do was get the UI set up myself so that it's the, artless version of it, and proves that I can do a couple of things really. Sync the attributes to clients, and also make sure that I can create an attribute that has some kind of mechanic. So the mechanic I focused on, so if we look, I'm walking, which is great. If I hold left shift, you can see my stamina now goes down, which is great. If I keep running around and it goes to 0, you can see I'm still holding shift, but I go into this walk mode, which is a very nuanced thing. And then I can let go and press shift again because my stamina is regenerated. If I walk, my stamina also regenerates, which is great. And obviously if I hit shift again, I can start sprinting, which is cool. And I don't know what's just happened. I don't know why my PC is just having a bit of a moment because I'm recording. But yeah, so that's really cool. I've got gameplay ability system, attributes all syncing. I've got a raid game mode for the server that basically allows a timer to happen and phases to happen. I just need to start filling those in. I've got a brand, I got a name. So now the next thing for next week is to start looking at a couple of things. I think I need to look at Agones or GameLift to sort of try and get that more formulated. Might be a bit of a boring update next week, but we shall see. And then after that, I want to start looking at the inventory. So you can see that I've got weight and max weight for our character. And I want them to be able to pick things up and obviously be able to extract. So that's another mechanic I need to do. So that it needs to be a zone where you can extract and figure out what we want to do there. Presumably there'll be a time limit for you to be able to, like, a bit like Art Raiders, I suppose, where you call a lift or train or whatever it might be. You get a time limit and then you extract once it arrives. So yeah, that's where I'm at. A bit of a short and sweet update, but under the hood, as I'm sure everyone's aware, there's a lot going on, from C++ to broken blueprints to basically having an issue with the executables not even starting because with a static gameplay tag being declared in a class. But we're making progress and I'm super excited about moving forward with it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.